Hi, my name is Levi, and this is the Crystal Portal Podcast, where we talk about crystals, moldavite, spirit guides, sacred geometry, intuition, quantum energy, and all things metaphysical. Find something special for your spiritual journey. Shop online at moldavitejewelry.com to support my work. Welcome to episode 10 of the podcast. Behind me here, got a section of the Crystal Portal called The Span. And this is our continuing series of part 3 of exploring the crystals in the portal. So let's get into it. These two sections make up a portion of the crystal portal called the span. It connects the entrance and exit point at which people cross through the crystal portal. So if you recall back in episode 9, we were exploring the crystals in the crystal portal with this portion right here that goes in the center. And I put this up here just to show you an example of how it will be in place. But if you want to learn more about this, moldavite, selenite, shungite, and more, check out episode 9 of the podcast. For today's show, we are going to take a look at only the span section. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the minerals that are in each of these two sections, and then we'll look a little closer at some of them. So we've got Palo Santo down here at the bottom, brookite-included quartz, smoky quartz from Arkansas, selenite, phenakite, benitoite, petalite on the face of the entrance and exit point of the crystal portal. Underneath there's Darwinite tektite, and then underneath the Darwinite tektite, there's sulfur quartz, both the entrance and exit point of the portal. The very bottom, on both the entrance and exit, are black tourmaline. Around the bottom here, we've got Herkimer diamond quartz, and sitting in the Herkimer diamond quartz is a crystal sphere. This is one of 3 spheres. 2 others are actually set in a portion that connects to this here. So again, we've got the Herkimer diamonds that go all the way up. This is the entrance portion of it. Libyan Desert Glass, peridot, space-peridot is mixed in with it. So space-peridot are peridot crystals that grew inside of a meteorite. Gold, NWA 869 meteorite, Tatahouine meteorite, very hard to see right here, fluorite-included quartz. Across the top of the entrance and exit point, we've got Faden quartz. If you go around to the back portion, the exit point, a little bit more of the Libyan Desert Glass that fades into Indochinite, also known as Tibetan tektite. And then around the bottom here, we've got more of the Darwinite tektite. And then if you look on the other side, we've got Anandalite and some more Darwinite. So that's an overview of the crystals and minerals, meteorites, tektites that are in the span section of the crystal portal. So let's look a little closer. In each of these quarter panels on the inside of the crystal portal where people walk through, we've got selenite, benitoite from San Benito, California, and Burmese phenakite. So these 3 minerals I'm not going to go into because we cover those in episode 9 of the Crystal Portal podcast. For now, so there's a lot of benitoite, and there are 18 Burmese phenakite crystals in each quarter panel section. So that's a total of 72 Burmese phenakite crystals in the span section alone. Now down at the bottom, we've got Palo Santo, which is a sacred wood. And when I was communicating with my guides about it, they said it has shamanic energy. And Palo Santo is a great alternative to sage, for example, where Sage will clear everything out, including your guides. Of course, they'll come back, but it's just it's a little bit more harsh compared to Palo Santo. Is a bit more of a gentle clearing energy. It'll clear negative energy, but it won't clear everything out. So if you look down at the bottom, we've got brookite-in-quartz. So these are hundreds of very, very tiny, possibly even thousands, but I would say hundreds of tiny little crystals in smoky quartz from Arkansas. And brookite is one of the Synergy 12 stones for activating the light body. And among other things, it's another mineral you can use to connect with ETs. So this is petalite. Petalite is known as the stone of the angels. Now, petalite is a very protective stone. It also helps with strengthening connection to spirit guides and your angels. Underneath the petalite, we've got the Darwinite tektite. Darwinite is a meteoric glass from Australia. It's grounding, protective, and also said to have some vortex energy. It is also spiritually uplifting and grounds in ancient wisdom for a good balance. As you recall in the beginning, the sulfur quartz is underneath the Darwinite. That is another one that we talked about in the last episode. If you want to learn more, check that one out. All the way around the very front section right here, we've got Herkimer diamond quartz from Herkimer County, New York. As you can see, there are a number of them with really cool rainbows. And this goes all the way up. On the other side, there are a lot more Herkimers, again, across the top. So I'm not going to go in depth about the Herkimers in this episode because preview, a future episode of the podcast, we're going to really take a deep dive on the Herkimers. Now back to the show. All right, so next to the Herkimer diamond quartz, we've got Libyan Desert Glass, also known as Libyan Gold Tektite. And these are found in the deserts of Libya. It's a meteoric glass. For years, there was debate among scientists, the scientific community, as to whether it was meteoric from meteorite or volcanic from volcanoes like obsidian. And if you look close in the darker portions here, there's a mineral called rhyolite in there. And essentially, rhyolite has been found in meteorites. So that more or less proved that Libyan Desert Glass was, in fact, a tektite. Now, Libyan Desert Glass is very activating for the solar plexus chakra. It's also known as the Silent Warrior Stone. An interesting story about this, when I had this section up on its side so that I could actually put the Libyan Desert Glass in the track there, I was working with it for about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And after I stepped away to go to the other room, I realized I was super energized. I wanted to get out and go run a marathon or lift some weights or something. It was really quite notable because I don't normally feel the energy of meteorites and tektites and all that, except if it's got like some wowzer energy. In between the Libyan Desert Glass, these green crystals right here are peridot. So peridot is excellent for someone that's working on abundance. Now, mixed in with the peridot, there is space-peridot crystals, which is peridot that grew inside of the Admire meteorite. This is an example of the Admire meteorite. So if you look close at the transparent crystals there, that is peridot that grew inside of the Admire meteorite. So Admire meteorites are palisite meteorites, make up approximately 10% of meteorites found, and they're made up of nickel iron, some other minerals, and of course the peridot, also trademarked as palladite, is, again, it's olivine that grew inside of a meteorite while it was traveling through space. In with the Libyan Desert Glass, peridot, space peridot, there's also two other minerals. there are tiny fragments of Tatahouine meteorite. You've heard me talk about that in a number of these episodes. Tatahouine are fragments of asteroid Vesta, and it's got an energy that there's a bit of a self-guided nature to it. It's a connective energy when placed with other minerals. And if you'll notice that little speck right there, that's gold. So there are tiny fragments of, or nuggets of gold in here. Let me find another one there. And part of the reason that those minerals specifically were added to this is because the guides said that a number of people will want to align with abundance. A number of people that walk through the portal will want to align with abundance. So it seemed very appropriate to add it to the entrance section right here. Up at the top, this one right here is one called NWA 869 meteorite. The long version is Northwest Africa 869. So the NWA meteorites are found in Northwest Africa. So this is a good example of a pretty good size space rock. And this, if you can imagine, this chunk of cosmic space dust found its way here to Earth, and it's now in the crystal portal. So if you've guessed that this is also technically a Stargate, give yourself a cookie. So we got 3 tektites, 3 meteorites so far in this section. And yes, that's a lot of cosmic energy. The very top section of both the entrance and exit on both sides are fluorite-included quartz. So if you look real close, you see these tiny little purple cubes inside the quartz. And this is a result of one find in Madagascar. It's never been found anywhere else in quartz. Let's take a look at Love is in the Earth, see what Melody has to say about fluorite-included quartz. In addition to the properties reported within the fluorite manifestation quartz and reciprocal space quartz in this book, the following attributes apply. The energy of fluorite within quartz and the entire structure formation has been shown by Kirlian photography to increase threefold. Another thing she writes is, it has also been used to facilitate and enhance access to the qualities represented by the planets within our solar system. So essentially, it's pulling the energy of the stars. Stargate, anyone? So continuing on the other side, the exit portion of the crystal portal, we've got Indochinite tektite, also known as Tibetan tektite. Indochinite is a highly vibrational, energetic seed stone that awakens the energy gateway of expanded consciousness. It can activate and open the entire chakra column, clearing blockages energetically and awakening the light body. Rising all the way up and the very top are Faden quartz from Pakistan. Faden quartz is a very programmable stone. The crystals are very tabular in formation, and it's also said to be excellent for healers because as it grows, it fractures and then heals itself. In the Book of Stones by Robert Simmons, he writes, Faden quartz is one of the premier healing stones of the quartz family, perhaps because the stones themselves were injured, broken, and rehealed during their growth process. They carry the pattern of healing very strongly within their natural programming. Thus, when one moves into resonance with one of these crystals, one's own capacity for healing is activated and or reinforced. Naisha writes, Faden quartz stimulates the auric field and assists in re-energizing the aura when leakages, holes, attachments, or abrupt energetic cord removal has created a drain, similar to a hole in a tire. She also writes, Faden quartz helps establish a strong connection of the physical self to the higher frequency aspects of one's higher self and soul level energies. Okay, we're going to learn a little bit more about Faden quartz by looking at the Love is in the Earth book by Melody. She writes, the Faden quartz crystal is one of connection, stimulating and furthering connective forces between the self and that which is chosen as the recipient. It is also a stone for astral travel and for the exploration of parallel dimensions of one's reality. It strengthens the silver cord and produces an energy which both promotes and protects one during flight. It's also being used for protective crystal for those engaged in air travel. She also writes, the Faden quartz crystal during exploration of parallel dimensions and other planes of existence stimulate the opening of the pathway and assist one in remembering the activities which one experiences and or views as a non-participant. She also writes, it provides for a continuous when in one's energy field alignment of the physical meridians and the nervous system, and for the alignment of the physical, emotional, mental, etheric, astral, etc. bodies, singularly and with one another. It can be used both to cleanse the aura and to stimulate the opening of the chakras. And on the other side, we've got a lot of Anandalite. So these are Anandalite crystals in matrix from India. It's a little hard to tell here, but in person you can see the rainbows in there. Anandalite is a rare form of natural aurora quartz within a chalcedony matrix. It was found in India in 2009, and at the time was the only truly natural non-man-made rainbow aurora quartz ever found. The name is derived from the Hindu word Ananda, which means divine bliss. Metaphysically, its healing properties assist by activating spiritual and kundalini energy. It is one of the most powerful stones for light body activation. It is also very great for clearing all the chakras. I realize it's a little hard to see unless you actually see it in person or get some really good outdoor light pictures, but the rainbows are really something. It's also said that the stone can awaken a person on multiple levels to experience higher states of consciousness. Thanks for sticking with me through to the end here. I know that this was a lot of information to cover in such a short time frame, but I really appreciate it. If you're enjoying this series, learning about the crystals in the portal, make sure to tune in next time as we explore the waterfall of Herkimer's and more in the base section. And as we approach the end of this 3-year journey that I've been on building the crystal portal, really trying to get the word out with this podcast. So if you know a friend that might like this, or into crystals and, some other wooey stuff, share with a friend. It really helps the podcast to grow. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. And if you've been wondering, when will the crystal portal be done? Very, very soon. The launch date will be in September, so if you'd like to be the very first to know, even before here on the podcast platforms, make sure you're signed up on the email list at moldavitejewelry.com. And until next time, tune into your intuition, because you are the key. Align the universe within to illuminate your destiny.